Hi guys, I'm back. We just had what the fuck was that? A fall equinox, and in this case, the word fuck is needed. I've been trying to use my words better by obsessively looking up their definitions because it's just more intellectual. It's more intelligent. I'm optimizing my experience here in my use of words. You should sync with your Venus. That's where I got this from. My Venus is in Gemini. So my value and the majority of my self-worth is found through my words. I'm like, this is perfect. This makes sense. So if my words are my thing, I should make my expression of my thoughts as clear as possible. Because what happens is I have Mercury retrograde. What that means is my thought processes work their best inside my head, right? It is a spiritual handicap that comes out in the physical as my thoughts being way too fast in my head for my mouth. This is a punishment from all the other lives when I may have used my words or my telepathic gifts against other people or magic or whatever in regards to my mind and my capabilities. So now that I know these things and I am slowly coming off of punishment, a retrograde is just a rewind, just like a retrograde period. So in your chart, when you have a retrograde, eventually over time, as your Saturn releases, it'll wear off. And Saturn is going through my eighth house. So that's my karma. It's making sure I did what I needed to do. And as it goes through this, I get more shit back. So, with that being said, I believe this whole word thing is important, which goes back to the use of the word fuck, which means to ruin. Like, why do people say fuck me? I'm like, that's a horrible thing to say. It really bothers me. So, this fucking equinox. It like, I couldn't sleep for, I couldn't, it was just so many feelings, and I don't even know what the feelings were. So I just let him flow. I'm just like, I don't even know what this is. Could it be that we work like the seasons? I guess that should be like it's the basis of my whole job, right? But uh could it be that we are trees going through seasons is more what I mean. Like, is the equinox a period of shedding? This triggers some other stuff too. So maybe, hold on, I'm going here. I decided I'm just channel whatever comes through, wherever I'm led, because there are tidbits all through this shit, right? So I I'm thinking maybe we do shed at the beginning in preparation for what's to come. But that's wild, right? You can have a pre-cry before you lose some more shit. That's what just jammed me up. I wanted to release patterns around bad relationships, whatever they were. And it came through forgiving other people, through looking out at the issue outside of myself, right? So as I'm moving towards more self-love, like I'm baby, like I'm my baby. As you can see, I took 2 weeks to get right with baby. And my glow is back. Yes. So in taking the time to align with my actual vibration, like who am I? Yes, yes, just in this 2 weeks of me not getting online, I got like it wasn't like depression or anything. It was me saying, what the hell do I do for fun for me this besides helping people? So I had to take small steps. What do I do to turn my brain off? Like, how do I ever turn this thing off? Guys, I don't. I literally research and like learn stuff all the time. Everything is a learning experience. And I was burning myself out. Didn't know burnout was possible, but that's what I was experiencing, right? So I got into this show on Netflix, right? And I don't binge watch. It's only a 30-minute show. And sometimes I only get to watch 15 minutes, then I go do some more stuff. And then I'll watch the other 15 minutes the next day, usually on my little lunch breaks that I give myself here. So today I decided to have my lunch and stuff before I did this video so I can be fully amped. And I got a surprise. My favorite couple, my main characters finally slept together after 10 episodes of sexual tension. You don't know what that did for me. That made me so happy to be here today. But I started getting freaking messages from my in two realms. These are like people I done actually been within this life. Let's be specific. That's what the purge was about. To prepare for a test. What did I purge? Any feelings that I had about the fact that I did not, this is gonna sound so Leo, I did not realize how awesome I was before. Are you allowed to cry about that? It's like when you look back at your old high school pictures and like, oh my God, I thought I was fat. I wish I could be that size again. Like that feeling, but it was like for every time I slept on me, that was the purge that I had to do. Because I'm woke now, baby. Okay, I didn't realize the blessing that just waking up every day in the body that was crafted for what a system thought your energy was a match for. And I know it sounds all like, shh, what am I made for? I went ended up watching the Barbie movie during Virgo season, which was crazy because Virgo's in my second house. That's your house of your values. That triggers my Gemini shit, right? Uh, I was like, holy shit. Because I've been teaching y'all for months. Every woman is Sophia, and every guy here is Chris, is Christ, right? Because you come from your parents' energy, so the DNA trickles down. It's just one person. Christ is the main male, Ken, and Sophia is the main female, Barbie. Every other person is a variation, just a thing. So Barbie and Ken don't look like much, but it's because they are the blueprint upon which all the others can build and just become a variation of that DNA. So with that being said, see, that's why I can't watch it because it all turns into that, and I'll be like, yo. So with that being said, I did not expect to see so much in the Barbie movie, but it was appropriate that it dropped during the North Node in Aries and South Node of Libra. Venus versus Mars comes back around. Ken was born, Chris was born with all the fundamental principles of handling things, whereas Barbie was about exploration and building. The what is it, officious energy, the female Sagittarian energy that they tried to remove, the snake charmer. So that energy, right? She goes about and she creates things, she expands, she explores, whereas this one is more of a firmer principle, right? So sometimes Ken didn't feel like, or Chris didn't feel like he got his thing with his wonderful sister, so it became a thing. As you can see, the romantic thing was there weirdly, but that spiraled into other types of relationships, a la Beauty and the Beast and Eros and Psyche in many other incarnations. So with that being said, I'm running shit back, right? Um, look now, I took myself in a spiral. Fucking just when I thought my Mercury retrograde was getting better, my thoughts really just go like bringing back to me my guides. Was this going back to the word fucked? Ruins? Oh, yes, it was because I was talking about my favorite couple from my show, Emily in Paris. I wanted something that was a complete departure from any of this shit. So the Barbie movie was pertinent because I was so pissed because I thought the Barbie movie was just gonna be about fucking Barbie just being beautiful as white lady. That's what it's gonna be. I didn't want to get hit with that. So I'm like, let me go on Netflix, pick something that has nothing to do with anything I would ever choose but myself. I want something that is like out of my demographic. I mean, I've been doing that more lately. I want to go see some movie, not nothing I would ever pick, especially in a movie theater. The trailers were completely different from the trailers in the other movies I was watching in like a racially motivated kind of way. And yes, I was in a Caucasian type theater. And on the way there, I kept seeing Orion, right? The word Orion. There would be a car that had it on it. We pulled up to the theater. It was on Orion Street. The movie wouldn't start, and there was a commercial for Orion. Orion is the group that sort of is like the bad guys in our game, the 13th family, the ones, the reptilians are here, right? But in our world, we call them the Aryans. That's what they became here, like the Martians. So that's the type of movie I went to go see. But Emily in Paris has nothing to do with nothing. I was like, they can't hit me here on this show. It's about a little white girl who go to Paris and she is working for a firm. I'm not going to waste your time with all that. Y'all know how great it is when your favorite characters finally get it in. And 10 episodes was a lot to drag it out. So, with that being said, Emily and Paris helped me understand that it's okay to say no. It's okay to reject somebody else. I've never broke up with anybody in my life. I just sort of like hang around until it's just the wheels fall off. Like there's no choice. Dedicated to a fault. So having an ex come back around or any following the events where this person has had time to think, it's always closure. I don't have to accept that closure. I couldn't figure out what to do. I didn't know what to say because I didn't hurt anybody's feelings. That's my abandonment wounds and my issues. I'm not going to put that on somebody else, and I'm not going to put myself in a position to have to handle the fact that somebody else realized they slept on me too. So the spiritual one, oh, I gotta tell you about the spiritual thing that happened, right? It's not spiritual. This is like somebody I actually was with in his life, right? So I had a astral thing, right? And I come across the guy and he's like, hey, let me hit. And I was like, bruh, I'm celibate right now. I'm not sleeping with anyone. Because there are specific stats that I am now learning that I need for my human battery, right? In regards to the sexual component. And I was like, you, sir, because I slept with this person in real life, would require uh, drugs in order to keep up with what I am coming with, right? That was the conversation in astral. In real life, about a week later, I get a text. He's like, hey, so my weed man got these e-pills. And I'm like, I've never told anybody about that dream or that astral thing because it wasn't a dream because I was lucid. I can remember it, like the conversation was interactive, which is why I was able to say what I said now. Like, nah, bro, these gifts is getting crazy. So it still interacts with the person. They still react in some way, shape, or form to the things that their soul knows. The human is just aware in different levels. So I guess they explain like myself because like the way these gifts and shit is coming in, like sometimes I wake up with a song in my head, don't make no sense, but it's because I figured out my soul goes on like little missions and night, doing her own thing based upon whatever happened in this body during the day, whatever came about. My soul at night when I go to sleep, just like all of us, the soul, the consciousness floats out, and that's how you're moving around a dream world. Sometimes yourself keeps you unaware down here, so you don't fuck stuff up for yourself. Or so it's like plausible deniability sometimes too, depending on your chart. Right? But I have a song in my head and I started noticing patterns over time. I'm like, oh, something happened, blah, blah, blah. And that's how I started learning stuff that I had no business knowing because I started connecting my higher self to my conscious self more and more. So I'm starting to learn how to move in alignment with that. And that gives me information about things coming in the future and all this weird stuff that we're doing here, right? So your person, depending on their level of consciousness, will receive the message either quick, like when you have a connection with somebody and you think of them and then they text you right away. That's the strong, like click, click, click. That person heard from their person quick, like call, boom. But somebody who takes a week or longer to notice things of that nature is because the connection is not there, and there's still some humanness working through, and we're in these bodies for a reason. But we're supposed to be like visiting. Like when you go on vacation, you don't carry vacation behavior home. When it's time to start going home, you start packing up. Now, some people are in the middle of their earth thing. They still nutting up, right? You can see them. But some of us are wrapping it up. We trying to go home. So the South Node in Libra, the purge, the fall, the thing that we're about to go through right now with the releasing of our leaves on our trees, right? Because we are human trees. We go through season, we grow, we die. It's making way for what you actually want. And I'm going based off the seasons and the way that things work in general, the way that they're designed to work in the system. I know there will be eventually people who challenge what I am saying as my platform grows or my voice becomes stronger, if I start to get more into character, if you will. Like, what did God create Aisha for? Well, I'm about to find out. And that's the energy I've been on because I learned during this purging that I was a hell for a long time. Part of it is because I put myself there to avoid a guy. I gave him all my power. I told him that's all he wanted anyway, because our relationship is really good. And it's just me and him, like off in the island or just off anywhere, just us two. But as soon as we get around other people and he gets a whiff of what having my energetic signature combined with his energetic signature does to people, particularly females, and sometimes whatever, uh, particularly females. He always act up, so I didn't feel cherished, and this is lifetime after fucking lifetime, lifetime. So, uh, in that life, I said, "Fuck it, that's all you want from me anyway." So I did this fucking curse, this curse called the fucking Black Rose curse, and it actually required me to kill myself to carry it out. It would transfer all my power to him, so he'd have all the fame, all the power, everything he ever wanted, but he wouldn't have the one he gave away. So the price for that was staying in hell for however, just living in ripples and cycles, because you can't stop yourself from reincarnating. My consciousness was doing reincarnations, but my soul stayed in hell. I couldn't get over being heartbroken. So to find out that this whole gag was I had to go through everything that I had already endured in this life and gain sympathy for myself and understand how I got there in the first place so I can forgive myself and then I'll be able to be nice to other people again because I turned into an evil bitch, a horrible bitch. I belonged in hell. It's like I went down there as like a broken angel, but I ended up like I was running shit. So um I feel much better. The whole process, all of this stuff, even all the spiritual husband stuff came because I started like healing. I started trying to take my power back. And as soon as my signal started getting stronger, his soul was like, oh, there you go. Like he could finally see me on the map again. Where I was so dark. Like it was a vibration right above death. Like right lingering. I've died many times actually in this life. I'm gonna make a post about it later. I gotta show you guys a picture. But I've died like a lot. Like I had a stroke. I had 4 C-sections. One of them turned into an emergency one. Um, and that's not even including the spiritual deaths, because sometimes you die in your sleep, guys, and you come back like it's a higher, a different vibration. Like their whole that's why sometimes you have those crazy dreams that don't make sense to you, but it's because your lower mind is trying to understand something that happened on such a evolutionary spiritual plane, a rebirth, if you will. And I feel like that was just a message for somebody that recently had a wild ass dream. And in that dream, somehow they were a baby or they were protecting a baby or something. But your dreams are signals of what your higher self is working on, what you're pulling together. You always know what your sort of plan here is on earth, but your higher self is helping you with that plan. And then they know that they have a bigger goal. That bigger goal is the draconic chart. Your natal chart is what your human is working on. So when you only function or work in alignment with your natal chart, you are strictly focused on the 3D, but you can use it as like what I use it for, optimizing the player. I was thinking about a different word for it, but just tightening up your player. It's like when you get a Mortal Kombat game and they have I did the little, you couldn't see my hand, the controller thing, and you learn all your moves. That's what your natal chart is. But when you look at your draconic, you find out what the player that's controlling your player is trying to do in the big chess game that is the spiritual war. So, draconic spiritual, 3D natal. I'm going to pull now because that's what I got on here for. But yo, I guess the part in the beginning where I talk is what makes my videos different from everybody else's. I'm getting over not knowing where my value is. Like, why would I create this when there are so many other people creating this? Because the one thing, the two thing, the three thing, whatever, is that nobody can be you. I do these charts all the time. They're mixed. Even if somebody has born the same date, same place, different location, maybe in the same location, it might be the same. Maybe there are other versions of you. Let's not even get into that. But nobody is gonna have the same exact asteroids and like the sprinkles, the seasoning. Like everybody might have the same base ingredients, but it's all cooked different, just like the food here. Imagine us as all pieces of food. Like no matter what, you can have if you cook the ingredients the different way. They might also be the same, but nah. And then some of these pieces really stand out. Like that's us, that's humans. So what does the collective need to know for this equinox? My media is like, it's so nice to not abuse myself. Like when you grow up around an abusive family, I have Scorpio in fourth. When you grow up around an abusive family, and it's not particularly their fault, nobody is at fault. I think it's actually the repercussions of slavery programming. And I did a video right before this one. I was telling somebody else that patterns of genocide stay in your DNA. And you can see this in the earth version through epigenetics, but spiritually, some of the people who were slaves or were in the Holocaust or any of that stuff, Trail of Tears are reincarnated now. You used to be a slave. Like, do you know how sad your soul is? Like, and some of that stuff comes up, like with the people who drink or the people who carry the family demons. But guess what? They were your demons from another life. That's why you were a match for you to be the chain breaker. You already had a badge in that area that needed to be cleared up. So my family being the way they were, or the things I went through, was just part of that coming out that hell. They have no idea now how much all of that helped me learn compassion for self, because they were only reflecting back things that had happened or things I had carried out on my hellacious behavior, or even things that happened to me before all of the bad stuff when I was still a angelic entity, right? All the stuff that happened to me as a victim that ended up leading me to a position of victimization with the guy that made me make myself a victim. How many times do we make ourselves a victim because we didn't realize there was a life before that even started happening? I said, just something like, if you don't heal it, it's just all it becomes. You're used to being treated badly and it perpetuates. So, and healing that and working on that and recognizing, because healing is a process, even recognizing, oh, this is why this stuff like happened to me. And then to be able to combine that with like past life stuff, like, oh, like achieving full soul consciousness in the soul contracts ISO, they tell you stuff like that. And when I first saw that in mine, I was like, what does that mean? But it's getting the memory back, that Mercury retrograde thing I was talking about, getting memory back in accordance with your higher self, thinking and working and pulling from, because you can't fit all of your higher self into your body. You just explode. The movie or the films on the Spirit Science channel, Human History Movie, I keep promoting that, right? It explains that your consciousness, the amount of consciousness you have in your body, the amount of kinetic energy, your psychic energy that you can fit in your body, actually goes based upon the size of your human. That's why in Africa, in those indigenous cultures, they have those statues that are like 15, 20 feet tall, because at one point, when people were able to exist like the Eternals, and the people from the 5 and the 70 could exist here in the amongst the 3D on their own little thing, they could sometimes make themselves be seen. And that's when the humans would make a statue like, oh, I thought I saw that guy. That's the gods. The gag is that was just the angels. And over time, the angels started abusing their power. That's a whole nother story, y'all. So anyway, what we doing, y'all, is Fall Equinox. What is the collective doing? Is expecting the hunt. shedding and releasing, because that's what maybe even start that little spiel there when I was shuffling the first time. Letting go of the patterns and stuff that did not serve. So if you were at a choice or at a position, I said choice because of the card, where you just had a purge like I did and it came out of nowhere. I saw some people were angry and they came out of nowhere. You just releasing these other emotions, because guess what the theme is? Making a choice. That means this is an opportunity to level up. This is going to be a season of continuing to release, to let go. This is not for movement, is what I'm feeling. And I love when this one is moving. I'm tired of being still. But this is saying to me, right? Making a choice is something that'll come a little bit further down the line during this equinox. Because the first thing here is Dragon's Lair. This is you being alone with them shadows. Because the next one was this Alice energy, this into the unknown. So this Dragon's Lair, because this is collective, this is what the equinox is doing to all of us in our own ways. And there's probably some transit or some astrological thing that'll explain this too, but I ain't going to do that today. So the Dragon's Lair is you being in your house, like literally. It's ice and stuff. That's winter. So this winter, you will be preparing to take a new path. You could take the old one if you want to, but after you sit this next couple months in that froze energy and you shed some more, because remember you're your trees now, and this is fall. After you shed some more, you're gonna step out into the new path. If you're at this video, if this message comes across you, you're gonna take this time to look at your wounds. This is a period of isolation, a period of thinking for self, but it's because you're going to be triggered to do that anyway. You're going to be triggered to shed. Do you want this still on your tree? Do you want to carry that branch? Do you want that person as a part of your tree? It's people or branches and leaves and stuff too. Do you want to, is that person growing with you, or have they stopped growing, or are they now a weed? Are they pulling from your tree? That's what you're going to be forced to think about during this winter. That's what this equinox just said, boom, to do. Because the end goal is this, into the unknown. That person doesn't have the ability to see. And the fact that my throat just did that. I was like, what does that mean? What does throat mean? No, but my throat chakra just like, it's like, say something, I'm giving up on you. Oh, I guess that it was using her voice, but that say something was I needed to sing at that moment. I think I need to sing, period. But that moment was like, because there's even like a songbird in the back of the picture. Hold on, can you see? Did my soul just drop a hint through my human in this video? That was crazy. But either this is fucking crazy. Either way, you're supposed to be stepping out into some new shit. Okay, that messed me up, guys. I need a clarifier. I wasn't even going to. Let me get my dark goddess deck, because this, without a doubt, is a making it through the dark. Period. I'm not going to say a dark night of the soul, but for some people it will be, because you're locked in the dragon's lair. This is you with all your demons, you with all your shadows, facing self, so that you can make the right decision for yourself. You've been at the crossroads for a while. Yeah, that's the energy. You've been at the crossroads for a while, and now that you are at the equinox, the period of shedding, you're going to be forced to look at everything, decide what you want to shed. Like if you keep some stuff that doesn't need to be there as you try to make a decision going forward, you're going to be denied entrance into that door you're trying to get through because you're too heavy. Gotta lighten up is what this is saying. Let go of some things to make way for that unknown path. That's how you get to that. And I just got that off just holding the deck. So, can I have a clarifier for this into the unknown? Can I have a clarifier for this into the unknown? Look at me, always trying to know the unknown. That's the whole basis of this business, right? Well, that's interesting. Into the unknown. This is, ooh, and I took note of the chessboard, but I wasn't sure where it was placed yet. It just made me think about Alice in Wonderland. So, Alice got down there and she was doing her thing, and that Queen of Hearts ain't like that shit. I don't remember why she didn't even like that shit, but Alice really itched her ass. That's what just came up. Into this unknown, stepping into new things, stepping out on faith, or the path that you take, regardless of which way you're going to go. This is what you need to know. Don't try to avoid growth or change. It's going to happen anyway. don't try. And whichever path you are taking right now, you are being challenged on what type of soldier you are, your integrity, uh, your strength, because going out into the unknown, new levels, new devils is what just came up. As you step out into the unknown, if you so choose to take the path of light, and that's what I'm being guided to say for anybody who comes across this video, you have chosen. Oh, I love when I get to be a messenger. It makes me feel all cryptic. I really want to do that anyway. Like, let me deliver messages. God, give me a chance. Just let me do my thing. So, with that being said, new levels, new devils. There are certain things that you are going to be dealing with that maybe you've dealt with before, but you don't get the glow up without a few haters showing up, is what I am saying here. So as you step out into the unknown, an ironic twist, know that you are doing the thing. When you start experiencing uh, envy, envy, you are releasing anything that is clouding your shine, destroying any beliefs, this is like a inferno. If I could picture something right now, what this energy that equinox just set off based on this, like I need to even stretch. And I didn't even notice that behind this one. You see that? It's like a forest fire. But it's like, oh, the rebirth I was talking about. I didn't even like the whole time I'm tapping. I just need to get used to the fact that this shit is coming around. I will say oh so many times, like, I'll be shocked too, yo. I am just the radio. It's her. So, with that being said, uh, revenge is on here. That one has me stuck, which is not and something I say. I even hate saying I don't know. But I'm gonna put that one down because trickery came up, and I understand that that means any lies that you have been told about yourself, anything that is blocking you from reaching your potential. And I guess in the case of revenge, it's that too. It's any feeling you had that somebody else stopped you from reaching your goal. Any fuel that was based upon, I'll show them, is the feeling I'm getting. Do it for you. Do it for little you. You will find more motivation in that light than you ever will find in the dark. Burn that shit up. Burn that shit up for the view. Don't even let it take you under, because you always feel like you're reaching for something you'll never get if you're doing it based upon who you want to get back, who you want to show. Those people won't give you that. No, that's not what they're here for. Literally, they're NPCs to make you better, to make you question yourself. Everything is about, like, what does this tell me about me? I just had a conversation with my homie, and I was like, yo, you're an asshole if you don't even consider something. That is what pauses your growth, just in general. When somebody comes to you with something and you won't even consider it, that is a fear of what your thought process is about to lead you through, right? By considering something, it opens you up to changing your mind, right? The fear. That's probably also on this list of things that needs to be washed away. Opening your mind, releasing judgment, allows you to take in more data, more information. When you have a fixed position or something, you don't allow new information in. It stops your growth. It stops you from feeding your tree because everything around you is trying to show you what you need to know. So when somebody comes to you with something, consider it from a position of logic outside of your emotion based upon fact only, right? That's the usually the benefit of having an air moon. But consider it from outside of yourself because your first knee-jerk reaction is going to be based upon your human and your human's experience. And that's not always the truth. It's just what you know based upon your perception. That logical let you know facts, but then you can go from there and find out like, what is this person's experience that made them feel this way? Okay, what is my experience that made me consider this this way? What is the actual truth here? And that whole thing stops you from being an asshole. Assholes don't want to learn anything. They don't want to hear from anything else, anybody else. Like there are a lot of religions that are technically assholes because they want you to listen to their doctrine, but they don't want to hear anything to grow or change or possibly lead the mind into new directions. So just always be open. That is the goal here. And I believe that that is what this into the unknown actually is. Sagittarius came through at the end of that. No, Sagittarius is literally stepping out into the unknown, doing what has been unexplored, prophecy, going based on your prophecy instead of what is right in front of you at that moment. And of course, as you're going through that, you're going to step through some minefields, people who don't like you, people who would like to get revenge on you. That's why you got to let go of that desire to get revenge with inside of you. There's nothing for them to hit on. Y'all are not a match. They can throw it out there, but it's not going to get you. People that are envious. Are you envious of anybody? Is there anybody? If so, find out what it is about that person that you desire for yourself that's making you feel like you have to be mad that somebody else got it. Sit with that. That's how you heal that envy if you have it in you. Otherwise, when these people come at you, you won't even feel it. They can be haters all day, but you won't even, it won't be on like your radar unless it's an emergency and somebody is working to mess with your livelihood or something. But even then, it's still not going to hit you. It's not going to be like, because it doesn't resonate with you. Into the unknown. That's the theme, y'all. So that is the fall equinox video. I hope y'all enjoyed that.